Alright, folks, the turns are getting very, very brief now. We're breaking the siege here in Lanka. We should get DMX back pretty soon. We're also moving down a whole bunch more troops and mages and stuff. Just bringing them on down to join the party, to join the Black Parade, etc. It's just huge piles of shit is all we got at the moment, but that's okay. Huge piles of shit will lead us to victory. Having broken the siege, we've pushed Shiniyama back. We're going to reclaim our capital and then get absolutely owned by Tianqi as well. So yeah, we are doomed, but we're going to go down swinging. It'll take a little while for them to kill us, and we will fight to the last. So that's about all that's happening. In terms of research, we just hit Thaumaturgy level 4, which gives us Terror and Wildness, which might be useful. Mainly Terror. Terror is the only thing out of here that's really, really useful. And then for the rest of our research, I think we'll research... let's research Evocation. If we can get to Evocation level 3, we can get Sleep Cloud, which would be pretty cool. But yeah, we're going to break out in Lanka, and then we'll just kind of see what happens. Don't have a whole lot of Blood Slaves, don't have a whole lot of anything. My Dakini are dead, I think. And we can see here Nucitus is pushing back Nazca again, and in Sauromatia, they wiped out Sauromatia after losing their god. They have killed off 60 more Maenads, so they're still alive technically. But yeah, we're doomed. We're very doomed, but it's okay. We'll be all right. Also in Yellow Mountains, the fort is actually the fort's hanging on, so we can wait a turn here, and I guess we can maybe summon something. Because we can summon. Let's summon some. Let's bind some fiends of some kind. So we can bind some bone fiends. Not you. You can't do anything. Bone fiends. We're just gonna spam out a bunch of bone fiends. They won't be very effective, but they'll be something. And I think that will be about it. So yeah, we got some bone fiends going on. These guys they're all defending right now, but I think instead I'm going to set them to research, and there we go. That's the turn. So, thanks for watching. I'll see y'all on turn 56. The ride is about to come to an end, but it's been fun, and we'll see how many more DMX can take with him before he goes. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, this one's going to be very, 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 very brief. The wolves are closing in. Gath has dropped a thug party, rather, on Zox. My throne is under siege over here in Yellow Mountains, and there's another large army of Tianqi right there. Shinoyama's army has fallen back and is regrouping with more troops, but still extremely powerful. Gandalf Goes to Japan has been raised as a white mage. And another Shinoyaman army is up here besieging Rasenna. So, and of course, Utgard has ended the non-aggression pact, so they'll be coming in just a couple turns. So, DMX's days are numbered. We're going to go out with the biggest bang we can, and by that I mean we're going to gather all of our undead into an enormous, unholy horde, and just try to give it to him. We're just gonna fucking do it to him. Now, we are of course somewhat hampered by our lack of research, which is abominable, but we'll just see what we can do. We've got level 6 blood, which is better than nothing. We are leaving here some blood mages that are blood hunting. We are also going to, I think, blood hunt my capital, because why the fuck not, right? Research actually isn't going to do a whole lot for me right now. So all these guys who aren't moving will blood hunt. And all these guys who actually have sanguine dowsing rods will also blood hunt. I'm not being super efficient about this because I don't need to be super efficient about this. There's no point. I've got a rainbow armor, which is sweet. So I'm actually going to give that to Hadrakumba here. Well, no, he has a chainmail displacement. I'm gonna give it to you, motherfucker. You motherfucker's gonna get this rainbow armor right here. I think that actually lowers his protection slightly, but it gives him magic resistance and reinvigoration, which is super great. So you motherfucker will have that. And in a couple turns, I'm gonna gather all of my surviving troops and everybody that I can get out, everyone that I can extract, and in the capital, and then I will decide what direction to launch my final rampage. I think probably we'll head for Shinoyama. I think probably we're going to take this army and just charge for Shinoyama and see if we can inflict damage before we go down. It's a pretty substantial pile of units. I mean, I've got like This is about 400, 500 soulless. I've got a couple hundred various assorted units still left here. Mainly soulless, but with some elites. I'm summoning another Dakini, and then with the Blood Hunts, I'll churn out like Bone Fiends or something. I don't know. I'll spend my Death Gems on summons, whatever summons I can get. Getting Conjuration level 5 would be pretty clutch, so let's... Or Conjuration level 6 would give me what? Conjuration level 6 would give me Spectres. Forest Troll Tribe, potentially. My gem income is garbage at this point. The only thing that I still have coming in really is Death Gems, because Sripada gives me 3, and then the Throne of Pestilence gives me 3. I'm about to lose 3 of those in Rasenna, because the Will of Darkness is giving me 3 as well. But, so I still have pretty decent Death Gem income, but everything else is just in the crapper, which is fine. And we'll just see what can be seen. You all, I'm gonna cancel you all. We're just gonna take all your blood slaves away. So let's actually just pool all blood slaves. There we go. That gives us 76 of them. And yeah, should be a good old time. So very, very short because these are the death throes of DMX, but we're not gonna go down without a fight. We're gonna go down swinging. We're gonna give it to him. We're gonna put paid to him. We're gonna show him who's boss. We're gonna show him you don't mess with our crew, unless you're prepared to die, or at least some of you. And I'll see you in the next turn, as we gather our forces in Winna and prepare for the death rite of DMX. So thanks for watching. See you next time. All right, folks. Turn 58. Another very brief turn. We have lost Rasenna. We are under siege still over here. We are breaking the siege actually because fuck them. They've got mainly Markata here, so we're just busting out with whatever we can. We're going to drop a Howl and Agony and stuff, summon some imps, throw Maws of the Earth. Hopefully at least cause damage, which is our goal now. Beyond that, we're just concentrating troops in the capital to gather up our Death Ball and go on a rampage. These guys are just blood hunting for as long as they can, until blood hunting no longer is possible, to keep us in slaves a little bit. And down here, speaking of being in slaves, I think I am going to summon one more... I need Blood 4. Where's my Blood 4 guy? There he is. I'm going to summon one more Dakini. And research doesn't matter. Okay. That's the turn. That's the entirety of the turn. Next turn, we will gather all of our hordes of the undead and our mages, and we will rampage south in an effort to make Shinuyama pay for their sins. But until then... I guess I'll see you then. I know this is like literally 1.5 minutes long. So, turn 59, the rampage will start. We'll see you then. Bye. Alright, folks, it's turn 59, and unfortunately this is the end. Shinuyama moved back in at just the wrong time. I was hoping to overwhelm their relatively small attack force and punch these troops through to link up. And that did not occur. The enemy army came in force, led by everyone. They have everyone. And they wiped out my hordes of undisciplined undead with very little by way of casualties. Quagmire, Howl, I think they dropped, yeah, they dropped Flaming Arrows. Banishment spam, the undead were just absolutely annihilated. So, yeah, it was dramatic. And I think pretty much all their casualties came from friendly fire. I don't have any listed kills having been scored. They lost a Bakemono Shaman and a bunch of random chaff, but only 45 units out of their 500 some. So, the fortification in Lanka has been breached. They will attack me. Quedra, been attacked by Utgard. Druidland, attacked by Shinuyama. Yellow Mountains, I did beat the sieging force, so that's nice, but irrelevant. Nice, but definitely irrelevant. And I basically just did it by spamming Maws of the Earth. We can see they had a whole bunch of ghosts they summoned at me, but summoning ghosts at me didn't really stop me, just because I had so much stuff going on and the Howl and all that, so the ghosts got swarmed. And, yeah. So that was a minor engagement that broke my way, but, In any case, this is going to be the end. All of my troops, all of my mages and troops right now are just holding position. DMX is set to drop a whole bunch of fire resistance on my demons, and then let them charge in. Yeah, that's it. That's the end. We'll, next turn, I'll load up the next turn, and I'll show you how this battle in Lanka goes, assuming he attacks me. And then, no matter what way it breaks, I'm going to be going AI after this, because Lanka has been destroyed. DMX's empire has crumbled to irrelevance. No one listens to his hits anymore. He might be going back to jail. So, you know. It's sad, but true. In any case, thank you so much for watching this game. I'll see y'all in turn 60, and we'll see if we manage to die gloriously in combat. Alas for poor DMX. It's turn 60, and let's watch the final battle. I'm pretty sure this was the final battle. I don't think I won this. So, in the red corner, we have a large group of Dai Bakemono, headed up by some Bone Tribe Beast Hunters, some Vine Men, some O-Bakemono. We've got a whole bunch of Bakemono Archers in the back, as well as some Indie Crossbowmen, a number of Yetis, a summoned Dai Tengu with a Crystal Shield, so he's AA4, a Horse Tribe Chief geared with a Holy Scourge for anti-demon work, which is actually kind of an interesting idea, and a Berserker Pelt Ring of the Warrior, so he's going to be killing demons left, right, and center. Bakemono Shamans, Mages of Spring, Hydromancer, and a whole bunch of Bakemono Sorcerers. So, good on them. On my side, we've got a pile of undead, a pile of Rakshasa warriors and some Asrapas mixed in, bunch of blood slaves, and more undead, and, of course, DMX, the Master Lich. So, we begin. Everyone's throwing buffs. We've got my archers on the walls firing, enemy arrows coming in. We dropped a strength buff. DMX should be casting fire resistance on my troops. And mass flight. Or some kind of flight. So we've got flaming arrows coming in. Mass flight dropped on all of us. Lots and lots of wide area damage spells. Air elementals flying in. DMX has spent all of his water gems. Which is good, so my Rakshasa warriors are no longer especially vulnerable to fire, but they do still get hurt by fire. And my army is largely wiped out. The Rakshasa warriors are surging forward. They've caused some damage, but not nearly enough. At that point, they begin to retreat. My air elementals that I was summoning haven't done quite enough work, and the Skelespam comes sailing in to wipe us out. The last standers, Stainless Steel and Anaruda, the Raksharajas, stand and fight and die in their fortress. So, final casualties. We killed 2 Bakemono Shamans, a Horse Tribe Chief, an Onishugo, an Uba, and about 100 total units. Then we suffered, of course, total casualties. And that, my friends, that is the end of DMX. We do still retain 2 provinces. We retain Quedra, and we retain... That's fascinating that we retain Quedra. That's actually really weird. Why do we retain Quedra? TC sent a Horror Harmonica Golem to attack. Okay, so this is sort of a hilarious tactic to use here. The Horror Harmonica casts Wailing Winds at the start of the battle, which makes everyone else take morale checks until they die or run, and then also lets you cast Call Horror over and over and over. If you give it to a golem, horrors don't attack mindless people who aren't horror marked, so they won't attack the golem. This golem also has the Armor of Virtue, so it returns as soon as it takes damage and has a huge amount of awe. And Sandals of the Crane, so it automatically blinks every round. Lurch Adams is hilarious. Lurch Adams is amazing. I love him. He's just going to fucking teleport around, summoning horrors. So like down here we've got a Gore Tide horror with the Gore Tide attack, and all kinds of other horrors coming in from various sides. He's just gonna keep hopping around, summoning horrors, making the enemy take tons and tons of morale checks forever. The Seithkonos are already running. We've got a Mind Slime horror coming in here. And he's pretty much immune to dying because A, they first have to pass a morale check against 14 to attack him with their morale debuffed. And then, if they hit him, he just vanishes instantaneously. See there, okay, so they hit him, he vanished. But the enemy, a lot of the enemy are routing, and then they've got all these horrors. So like the Gore-Tide horror is ethereal, has 62 hit points, it has an AoE attack, plus is a Slimer. So he slows down and lowers the attack and defense of anyone attacking him. He's actually sort of hilarious. Like, look at that. Slowed and slimed for a total of -4. And he regenerates at 50%. Gore-Tide Horrors are amazing. Mind Slime Horrors just have the Weakness Tentacle. They also have Damage Reversal and are invisible. So anyone who doesn't have Spirit Sight has -10 to hit him. And he slows people down around him. So, yeah. They only got a couple of Horrors off. But Horrors are doozies. Horrors are very hard to deal with. This Gore-Tide Horror down here is wrecking all these guys. This Mind Slime Horror up here is wrecking all these guys. Because their attack skill is once again lowered by them being slowed, and now their strength is being stolen. It's pretty silly. To be honest, stolen strength 8. Yikes. Yeah, that stacks, and it never stops either. The Gore-Tide Horror has actually routed off the whole enemy army down here that it was fighting. And these two Sithkona are only staying here because they're fatigued out. And now all the rest are routing off. A lot of the rest are routing off too. Wailing Winds has stopped since the Golem has gone away, but that really doesn't change the fact that they can't do anything about this Gore-Tide Horror. Or the Mind Slime Horror, for that matter. So, yeah, that's fascinating. That's why that province is not under attack anymore, I guess. But in any case, I don't have any money. I don't have any real income. I have a small number of troops left in my forts, but not enough to accomplish anything, and it's time for me to go. DMX is going back to jail. So, it's been an interesting game. I was never really in competition since the end of Year 0. I was just too... My start was too bad. The knights attacking my capital and shutting my production down, my poor expansion, just generally speaking, I was never going to win this game. I certainly was never going to win this game. But it was very interesting to play. I'm really glad that I did play it. DMX was an interesting experience, and I look forward to seeing who it is that actually does eventually end up winning. It looks like there's kind of a three-way cockfight over my territory right now, so more power to them. I hope they have fun, and I will see all of you in the next game. This has for sure been an experience, and it was interesting. I'm not quite sure about Lanka. I definitely, the next time I play Lanka, want to have the Fire Shock Resist Bless. Because that will make a huge difference. Like, Fire Shock Resist and then, like, Bark Skin or Stygian Skin or something. Some kind of protection buff for the demons. I think those two things would make a big difference to the usability of Asrapas. And strength buffs as well. Like, in general, a much, much more powerful Bless, I think, is very valuable for them. But in any case, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next go-around.